silence. If you listen, you can hear it, the silence in you.
Our first lesson is about something that we do all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have not been taught. It's been something that's come instinctual to us. But I believe for many of us, we forgot how to properly do it. So what is that? Breathing. Something as deceptively simple as breathing. You see, when we're young, and young, when I say young, I mean infants and whatnot. Infants know how to breathe, and if you watch an infant breathe, you'll watch their tummy, and they'll breathe, and it'll rise and fall and rise and fall. So what we being, I'm going to say adults, we've seemed to have forgotten how to do that. And so many of us don't ever really take deep breaths. Now, I talked a little bit about in the introduction about some of the learnings that I have received and my perspectives on meditation, that is more a state of awareness and whatnot. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to, and maybe keep this mindset even for the rest of the modules, is entertain the possibility that there is maybe more to this world and what we can see, touch, or feel than we realize. And so when I talk about breathing, entertain the possibility that this very simple exercise I'm going to give you is more powerful than it seems just looking at the surface. Okay? So, why is breathing so powerful? So of course there's a multitude of physiological reasons why. I mean, most of us know that as we breathe, it draws oxygen in and it oxygenates our blood. So deep conscious breathing is obviously very healthy physically. But the other thing that it does is a couple of things. So the first one that it does is it gives you something to focus on. So one of the things we'll talk about in different modules is focusing on, could be different areas of our body. It could be a visualization. We'll talk about visualizations in one of the other modules. It could be focusing on our thoughts, different things like that. So breathing gives us a really handy anchor point to focus on. It gives us a really good starting point. So my suggestion is, as you go into these exercises, and the more you practice this, the more you'll find different ways you can use it, is start with just some simple, deep, conscious, controlled breaths. Okay? So what I mean by that is conscious, controlled breaths. Okay? So this isn't about forcing. Okay? This is about breathing, but it's about filling our lungs completely with air. And that's as simple as I mentioned, the infants do, is when we breathe, we allow our diaphragm to extend, which allows actually our lungs to have more capacity to draw in more air. So when we breathe in, we let our tummy extend a bit. And when we breathe out, just give it a little bit of tension, right? Just kind of draw it in. And actually what this will do is it also really helps to tone up your diaphragm muscles, which is a good thing if we want to have that belly in instead of out. So nice conscious breathing. So breathe in, let our diaphragm extend a bit, lungs nice and full of air, and breathe out. Now you'll notice that when I breathe in, and you can try it different ways, I have my mouth partially open. So I breathe in and I blow out through my mouth. So some people, they may breathe in through their nose, blow out through their mouth. So okay, and at the end a little squeeze, right? Now, how you do it for our purposes is whatever is most comfortable for you. Sort of the important aspects of it that I feel is, first of all, being conscious of it. Now, what do I mean when I say being conscious of our breathing? So what I want you to do is, as you do that, feel what your body feels like. Okay, so as you breathe in, so for me, when I breathe in, feel what the air feels like as it flows past your lips, as it flows down. Feel your chest, rise. Feel your tummy extend a little bit as that air fills your lungs. So you just feel it rise, and then as you release, feel your chest as it gently falls. Your tummy, as you just kind of draw those diaphragm muscles in the air as it flows out, right? Now notice how I'm doing it nice and slow. Now, in the beginning, you might not be able to do it, I'm going to say, as slow as me or even slower. But that's okay, all right? So it's not about hyperventilating and passing out, right? It's about slow, conscious breaths, not forced breath. So as we draw in, little pause. Perfect, just like that. As you're comfortable with. A lot of martial arts use this because it helps us to focus, it helps energize our body because we're oxygenating it, right? For our purposes here, it's helping us to focus. Now the second important aspect of being aware of our breathing, and we'll talk more about this later, is it brings our awareness into the present moment. So just in a nutshell, present moment awareness is simply being aware of what's going on around you, your thoughts focus right on this present moment. And we'll talk about that in subsequent videos, but just for now, remember present moment. You see, here's the neat thing. We can only breathe in the present moment, right? We can't breathe yesterday, and we can't breathe tomorrow. We can only breathe in the present moment. So by bringing our awareness to our breath, it brings our awareness to the present moment, and that sets a fantastic foundation for many of the other exercises that we will go into. As I said, I'll talk more about present moment awareness in subsequent modules, but for now, breathing. It also automatically begins to relax your body as well. So your homework, and I encourage you, resist the urge to watch all the modules at once, okay? This is about the journey, not about the destination. So your homework, for however long you wish it to be, is just take some time and be aware of your breathing. Just stop, whatever you happen to be doing, stop for a minute, sitting in a stoplight, sitting in a waiting room, just kind of, and feel what you feel. It doesn't matter whether you feel something or whether you feel nothing, okay? All right, so breathing. All right, thanks.